Welcome to Zoe Stories. Mom's Secret Experiment. I always believed secrets lived in shadows, tucked under beds, hidden in drawers, slipped between the pages of journals no one ever checks. But I was wrong. Some secrets don't hide at all. They sit right in front of you, shining in broad daylight, daring you to pretend you don't see them. Mine started with a tiny silver key. A key I found on my mother's desk. A key that should not have been left out. A key that opened the door to everything I thought I was keeping hidden. My name is Armin, 28, quiet by nature, careful by necessity. At work, I'm the kind of person who blends into the background. Organized, polite, predictable. My coworkers think they know me. They think I'm calm, disciplined, a little shy, the kind of man who could spend a whole lunch break sketching building facades or correcting his own work for no reason. But they don't know the version of me who comes alive at night. They don't know about the dresses folded with reverence. They don't know about the way silk transforms my breathing. They don't know how makeup, the shimmer, the contour, the soft line of lipstick, feels like unlocking a door inside my chest. They don't know my real secret. I cross-dress. Not for attention. Not for rebellion. But because it's the only time I feel whole. And I thought I was good at hiding it. My mother, Dr. Shireen, is the kind of woman who notices changes in the air before they even happen. She's a former behavioral scientist, one of those people who studies human habits not just with curiosity, but with surgical precision. She taught me how to read people, how to understand their patterns, how to see things others miss. She was brilliant. Sometimes too brilliant. After she retired early, she converted our storage room into her personal research studio. No one was allowed inside. No one questioned her work. Small vials, herbs, strange handwritten charts, little machines that hummed in the night. She collected them the way others collect perfume. Everyone thought she studied herbal psychology. Something soft and harmless. But I knew better. She studied change. Human change. Subtle change. Behavioral transformation. And she always insisted that identity was not fixed. It was malleable. She never said it outright, but I sometimes caught a glint in her eyes. Like she suspected I was hiding something. Like she knew a secret was growing between us. But I never imagined she knew this secret. Not until the morning of her experiment. It was a slow Sunday morning. The kind of morning where everything feels too calm, like the world is holding its breath. Sunlight dripped through the kitchen window, striking every dust particle like glitter. The kettle hummed. The curtains swayed like they were whispering something. But the apartment felt different. Like something had shifted overnight. I walked into the living room expecting the usual. Mom reading research articles, the faint smell of chai, her glasses sliding down her nose. But she wasn't there. Instead, on the coffee table, something else waited for me. A box. Small. Plain. Too deliberate. My stomach tightened. Mom didn't leave things lying around. Nothing in her life was accidental. Not the placement of her notebooks, not the timing of her routines, not even the way she asked questions. I approached it slowly like it might bite. And then I saw the tiny silver key beside it. The key I'd seen only once before, when she locked the door to her private research room. Why was it here? Why today? What did she want me to find? As I stood there staring at the key, another thought fought its way into my mind. Isabella. My girlfriend of 2 years. Smart. Playful. Warm. And completely unaware of this part of me. She loved me in a loud way. The opposite of everything I tried to hide. She lived in colors, bold lipsticks, bright dresses, emotional honesty. She demanded truth from the world. I survived on half-truths. She thought I was shy. She thought I was quiet. She thought I didn't like experimenting with anything outside the ordinary. She didn't know the drawer hidden under my bed. She didn't know the heels I kept wrapped in cloth. She didn't know the way I practiced feminine poses in the mirror when the house was empty. We shared a home, a life, a bed, but not the secret part of me. I kept telling myself I'd tell her one day. But one day never came. Because I was terrified. Terrified she'd look at me differently. Terrified she'd laugh. Terrified she'd walk away. Terrified she'd love me less. So I stayed silent. I stayed safe. I stayed invisible. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling that if Isabella ever discovered my secret, Her reaction would be explosive and unpredictable, just like my mother's. The moment everything turns. I picked up the small silver key. It felt warm. Strangely warm. My fingers trembled slightly. Not from fear, but from something deeper. Something that whispered, "This is the beginning." Inside the box, cushioned in cotton, lay a tiny vial filled with iridescent liquid, shimmering like liquid opal, and a small rose-shaped brooch with pearls embedded in the petals. Both items looked delicate, beautiful, feminine. Too feminine. My breath caught. This wasn't random. This wasn't accidental. This wasn't harmless. This was intentional. My mother wanted me to open that door, the door she had guarded so fiercely for years. She wanted me to step inside her private world. But why? Why today? Why these objects? And why did I feel like the room was closing in on me? My heart thudded in my chest, loud enough to echo. A thin line of fear threaded its way down my spine. An equally thin line of excitement. Because deep down I knew. This wasn't just an experiment. This was about me. And she knew. The last normal moment of my life. I stared at the vial, the brooch, the key. And I realized. Whatever lay behind the locked door. Whatever Mom had spent months perfecting. Whatever study she had whispered about late at night. It was connected to my secret. To my clothes. My desires. My private nights. My hidden self. This was the last moment my life would feel normal. Because after this, after opening that door, I wouldn't just discover what Mom was working on. I would discover the truth she had known about me all along. And maybe, just maybe, the truth she wanted me to become. I always thought secrets protected you. Like armor. As long as no one knew, no one could judge you. No one could use it against you. That's what I believed, stupidly, confidently. Until the evening my sister walked into my room without knocking. It started so normally. I had the house to myself. My parents were at a dinner, and my sister Sana was supposed to be at her friend's place. That gave me a few hours alone. Dangerous hours, tempting hours. I kept telling myself I shouldn't. But it was like something inside me pulled me toward the wardrobe. My hands shook when I opened it. A row of my sister's outfits hung neatly. Dresses she never even noticed were missing for a day, skirts she thought she outgrew, tops she assumed she misplaced. And hidden between them, tucked deep like treasure buried under sand, the pastel pink dress I loved the most. The one that fit me too perfectly. The one that made me feel something I didn't have words for yet. I pulled it out. Soft, light, feminine. My heart thumped as loud as thunder. And before I could second-guess myself, I slipped it on. It hugged my waist. It brushed my knees. I felt complete, whole. Or maybe I felt like someone I wasn't allowed to be. Either way, I stood in front of the mirror, breathless. I wasn't supposed to enjoy this. Boys weren't supposed to enjoy this. If anyone found out, especially Sana, she'd destroy me. She always knew how to twist a weakness into a weapon. But I couldn't stop. I added a touch of her blush, a little lip tint, and brushed my hair until it framed my face. The transformation was subtle, but real. I didn't look like Armin anymore. I looked like the version of myself I kept locked away. And then, the door creaked. I froze. I didn't move, hoping it was the wind. It wasn't. Armin? Her voice. Too close. Too real. I whipped around, panic exploding in my chest. Sana stood at the doorway, her eyes locked on me. Her brother wearing her pink dress, her makeup, her blush still on my fingers. My blood turned to ice. She didn't scream. She didn't gasp. She didn't even blink. She smirked. That was worse. So this is what you do when no one's home, she said, stepping inside. Wow. I didn't expect this. No, wait, Sana, please, I can explain. I choked out, my voice trembling. She walked in circles around me, like a detective studying a criminal. Explain what? She said, tilting her head. That my brother loves wearing my clothes? That you've been stealing my dresses? That you look surprisingly cute like this? Her tone wasn't kind. It wasn't accepting. It was calculating. She took pictures. Before I could stop her, before I could reach her, She raised her phone and clicked. And clicked. And clicked. "Sana!" I shouted, lunging forward. But she dodged easily. "Relax," she said with a mocking sweetness. "I just need evidence." "Delete it," I begged. "Please. I'll do anything." That made her stop. Her lips curled slowly, the kind of smile that meant trouble. "Anything?" she asked. I nodded, breath shaking. She tapped her phone thoughtfully. "You know, Armin, you've made my life hell this past month." I blinked. "What? How?" "You embarrassed me in front of my friends. You told Dad about my marks. You ruined the dress I bought for my college orientation. You owe me payback." And suddenly I understood. This wasn't about the dress. It wasn't about the secret. This was revenge. Cold, sharp, sisterly revenge. "What do you want?" I asked. She stepped closer, lifting my chin with a single finger. Her eyes glittered with an evil delight I'd never seen before. "Oh, big brother," she whispered. "I don't want to ruin your life." I exhaled in relief. She leaned closer. "I want to change it." My heartbeat stopped. "I want to see how far you'll go to protect your pretty little secret," she said. "I want to see how serious you are about doing anything." I swallowed hard. "Sana, please." She walked to the door. "Starting tomorrow, you're not Armin anymore." "Not to me." She paused, looking back with a wicked grin. "You're Ariana." The name sliced through me. I felt the room tilt, like gravity betrayed me. "And if you don't cooperate," she added, tapping her phone screen, "these pictures will spread faster than you can say, 'I'm sorry.'" I felt dizzy. Trapped. Caught in my worst nightmare. She slipped out of the room and shut the door behind her, leaving me alone in front of the mirror. Still wearing the pink dress. Still wearing the name she just gave me. Still realizing that my life had officially changed. Not by choice, but by revenge. And the worst part? A part of me, the part still staring at my reflection a little too long, wasn't sure if I hated it. Or if I was terrified of how much I didn't hate it. I didn't sleep that night. How could I? Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her smirking. I heard the click of her phone camera. I felt the pink dress still clinging to me like a curse. By morning, my stomach ached from fear. My mind kept replaying the same question. Would she really do it? Would she actually expose me? The answer came at 7:13 a.m. A message buzzed on my phone. From Sana. "Wake up, Ariana. We start in 10 minutes. My heart nearly stopped. I stared at the screen, hoping, praying, it was a joke, something she'd forget by lunchtime. But then, "And wear something cute. If you don't come downstairs in 10 minutes, I hit send." There it was. The threat. Cold, sharp, real. For a full minute, I just sat at the edge of my bed, breathing like I was drowning. Wear something cute? What did that even mean? How far did she expect me to go? My hands shook as I opened my wardrobe. I stared at the clothes that were mine. Loose shirts, jeans, hoodies. Safe. Normal. Masculine. And then, the other side. Her side. The dresses. The skirts. The tops that didn't belong to me. The outfits I only touched when no one was home. The outfits she now owned me with. I swallowed, feeling something crack inside me. "I have no choice," I whispered to myself. But a darker truth echoed beneath it. You do have a choice. You just don't want the world to know what you look like in these clothes. Even though part of you likes it. I pushed the thought away. This wasn't about desire. This was about survival. I chose a light lavender top. Simple, feminine, not overly obvious. And a pair of fitted jeans that could pass as unisex. At least, that's what I told myself. But the moment I put them on, I knew. Anyone looking at me closely would know too. My reflection showed someone softer. Someone different. The way the lavender hugged my shoulders, the way the jeans shaped my legs. It all felt like stepping deeper into something I wasn't ready to admit. I brushed my hair. Not too much. Not too little. Enough to look presentable. Then, slow as if walking into a trap, I went downstairs. Sana was waiting in the living room, legs crossed, sipping chai like a queen waiting for her servant. She looked up. Her smirk widened instantly. "Ah, there she is," she said. "My cute little sister." My stomach twisted. "Sana, please." She raised a finger. "Rule number 1, Ariana. When we're alone, you address me as Arapi." My breath hitched. "You can't be Sari." She lifted her phone. Okay, I said quickly. "Arapi." Her smile returned, satisfied and cruel. "Good girl." The words hit me like a slap. She stood up, circling me like last night, inspecting every detail. "You tried," she said. "But this is weak effort." "Jeans? Seriously? You think you can be Ariana without committing?" I clenched my jaw. "This isn't who I am." She stepped in front of me, eyes narrowed. "You sure about that?" I felt myself shrink. She grabbed my wrist. "Come on. We're going upstairs." "What? Why?" "For your real first lesson." I tried to pull away, but she tightened her grip. "You promised you'd do anything to keep those pictures secret," she reminded me. "This is anything." I followed her, helpless, my heart pounding with every step. Inside her room, she shut the door and opened her vanity drawer. The sight made my breath catch. Makeup, hair ties, perfume, jewelry. All the things I touched only in secret. Now she was presenting them like weapons. "Sit," she ordered. I sat. She stood behind me, gathering my hair. "We're starting light," she said. "Just a soft look. Enough to show you what you're capable of, and what I can make you become." I stared into the mirror as she applied foundation. Then concealer. Then a touch of blush. My face softened. My eyes changed. My features blurred into something unfamiliar but not unpleasant. More frightening? A part of me recognized myself. "Stop looking so scared," she said. "It's not like you don't know you enjoy this." "I don't," I said quickly. She raised an eyebrow. "Your mirror selfies say otherwise." "What?" "Oh yeah," she said casually. "I checked your phone while you were asleep." The humiliation burned like fire. Those pictures, those private moments, she saw them. All of them. She leaned close, her voice almost gentle. "Almost. Ariana, you're not fighting me. You're fighting yourself." My throat tightened. She wasn't entirely wrong. And that terrified me more than anything else. Once the makeup was done, she stepped back and folded her arms. "Stand up." I did. She walked to her wardrobe and pulled out a skirt. A white, pleated skirt. Short. Dramatic. Unavoidable. "No," I whispered. "Api, please." She tossed it onto the bed. "Put it on." My knees weakened. I can't go that far." She shrugged and raised her phone. One tap away from destruction. My breath trembled. My vision blurred. Slowly, painfully, I reached for the skirt. The fabric was light, soft, terrifying. When I slipped it on, my heart nearly burst. It sat high on my waist, flared around my legs, transformed me instantly. I stood there, trembling. Sana's smile softened, not with kindness, but with satisfaction. "There," she said. "Now you're starting to look like Ariana." I felt exposed, vulnerable, seen. Like she had peeled away the last layer of Armin and forced me into something I wasn't ready to face. But she wasn't done. "Now," she said, grabbing her phone, "we're going out." I froze. "Out? Out. Like this?" She winked. "Revenge isn't fun if no one sees it." My world spun. I wasn't ready. I'd never be ready. And yet, she had all the power. I had none. She held the door open. "Let's go, sis." And with steps that shook, breath that hitched, and a heart drowning in fear, I followed her. Out of the room. Out of safety. Out of the life I used to know. My legs felt like they weren't mine as I followed Sana down the staircase. Every step made the skirt sway, brushing softly against my thighs. A sensation so delicate. And so dangerous. It reminded me with every movement. "You're not Amen right now. You're Ariana. Her Ariana." Sana walked casually, like she wasn't dragging me straight toward my social execution. I clutched my trembling hands together, trying not to breathe too loudly. Every sound felt amplified. Every second stretched forever. At the front door she turned, raising an eyebrow. "You're shaking." My voice cracked. "I can't do this, Api. You don't have a choice." Her tone wasn't cruel this time, just firm. "Final. You made a deal." A sick weight dropped in my stomach. Deal. Curse. Trap. Call it anything. But she had me. She opened the door. Cold air rushed in, hitting my bare legs, sending a shiver up my spine. It wasn't the temperature. It was terror. "Chelo," she said, stepping out. But I stayed frozen at the threshold, clinging to the last inch of safety. "Arapi. Everyone will see me. That's the point." Her eyes softened, not with pity, but with a strange seriousness. "Armin. You hide all the time. Behind hoodies. Behind excuses. Behind fear. Today you don't get to hide." The words struck deeper than I expected. I wasn't hiding because of others. I was hiding from myself. But I still couldn't move. She sighed, then leaned in. "Trust me," she said simply. I don't know why, but those two words unlocked something. I stepped outside. The street was quiet. Way too quiet. Every window felt like a watching eye. Every passing breeze felt like judgment. Sana walked beside me like everything was normal. I walked like I was walking into a firing squad. "What if someone sees?" I whispered. "That's life," she said, shrugging. "Sometimes we're seen when we least want to be." It wasn't comforting, but it was honest. We reached the edge of the street when fate dealt its first blow. Our neighbor stepped out to water her plants. Mrs. Rashida. Sharp-eyed. Curious. Habitually nosy. I immediately paused, backing up like a scared animal. But Sana placed a hand on my back and nudged me forward. "Just walk normally," she murmured. "You're fine." Normal? Normal. Nothing about this was normal. But somehow, I forced a step forward. Then another. My heart hammered harder with each inch. My skirt moved softly with every step. Mocking me, betraying me, reminding me what I looked like. Mrs. Rashida glanced our way. Stared. And then. She smiled politely. "Assalamu alaikum, girls. Girls. Girls." She called me a girl. And for a moment, just one electric, terrifying moment, Sana's breath caught. My knees weakened. The world tilted. Because I wasn't exposed. I was accepted. I managed to squeak out a shaky, "W alaikum assalam." My voice cracked, but not enough to betray me. Mrs. Rashida didn't suspect a thing. She waved and went back inside. The breath I released felt like it had been trapped for a year. "I told you," Sana whispered. "Normal." "You nearly killed me," I whispered back. She laughed softly, and to my surprise, it wasn't mocking. "Relax. Nobody's looking that closely." But I was. With every step we took, my mind raced. What am I doing? Who am I becoming? What if I don't hate this? I hated that thought more than anything. We reached the corner bakery. Sana pushed the door open, the small bell chiming above us. I froze again. "Inside." I croaked. "Yes," she said simply. "We need bread." "We don't need bread. We bought some yesterday." "We need bread." This time she didn't grab me. She just waited, letting the silence press down on me until the pressure forced me forward. The shop was nearly empty. Nearly. 2 college-aged boys sat at a table, scrolling on their phones. A middle-aged cashier leaned lazily behind the counter. Soft music played from a cheap speaker. Sana walked confidently toward the bread shelf. I followed, every instinct telling me to turn and sprint home. "You're doing good," she whispered, scanning loaves like nothing was happening. "No, I'm dying," I muttered. She smirked. Then she dropped the bomb. "Go pay for this." I spun to her. "No. Absolutely not." She crossed her arms. "So, you want me to hit send?" Her hand hovered over her phone. I wanted to argue. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. But instead, I took the bread. My fingers were shaking so hard I almost dropped it. The walk to the counter felt like walking on stage naked. My mind screamed the entire time. They're staring. They know. They can tell. You look ridiculous. You sound ridiculous. You are ridiculous. But when I reached the counter, the cashier barely glanced up. Yes, Baji. The word hit me again. Baji. Baji. Sister. I swallowed hard and forced out. Why yes, this. He scanned it lazily. That'll be 120. I fumbled with the money. My voice trembled as I said, thank you. But it wasn't my voice. Not Aman's voice. It was soft. Shy. Almost feminine. I didn't mean to do it. It just slipped out. When I turned back, Sana was watching me with an expression I didn't understand. Not amusement. Not cruelty. Something else. Something unreadable. We walked out. I was shaking so much she finally took pity and grabbed my hand. Hey, she said softly, you did amazing. I blinked fast, trying to steady myself. I hated it. You sure? She asked gently. Yes, I snapped. But inside, a storm was raging. Because I didn't totally hate it. I hated being seen. I hated being forced. I hated being controlled. But being perceived as a girl? Being called Baji? Being unnoticed? Being accepted? That part scared me far more than humiliation ever could. As we approached home, Sana whispered, this is only day one, Ariana. And somewhere deep inside, a part of me answered, I know. When we reached home, I practically collapsed onto the couch. My legs were shaking so badly the skirt kept fluttering around me like it was mocking how helpless I looked. Sana locked the door behind us, humming casually, like this was any other morning. Like she hadn't just dragged me through the most terrifying hour of my life. I covered my face with my hands and whispered, I hate you. She laughed softly. No, you don't. I dropped my hands and glared. You humiliated me. I empowered you. I scoffed. Empowered? You forced me to walk outside dressed like yourself, she finished. That shut me up. Because it hit deeper than I wanted. Too deep. She walked around the living room, picking up cushions, straightening things that didn't need straightening. Giving me time to breathe but not enough to actually calm down. I tried to pull the skirt down lower on my thighs. Sana noticed. Don't do that, she said. Do what? Act like you're ashamed of how you look. I am ashamed. Her eyes locked onto mine. Sharp, dangerous, unblinking. No, she said quietly. You're scared of how much you don't hate it. My heart lurched. I don't. You do. She sat across from me, knees crossed, posture relaxed, expression suddenly serious in a way that made my chest tighten. Aman, she said, you can lie to me but you can't lie to yourself. Her words hit like knives. Because the truth was, I felt something out there. Something I was afraid to name. Not pride. Not thrill. Not excitement. Recognition. Like the world saw something I had buried. And instead of recoiling, a part of me leaned forward. I shook my head hard and stood up. This is wrong. I'm not Ariana. I'm not some experiment for you to play with. She stood up too, voice low. Do you think I'm doing this to hurt you? Yes. I snapped. She stepped closer. Really? I swallowed. Because for the first time since last night, she didn't look cruel. She looked conflicted. Hurt, even. Sana. What are you doing all this for? I whispered. She looked away, her jaw tightening. For a moment, she didn't answer. Then she exhaled deeply. You want the truth? I nodded. When I found out about your secret, she began slowly, I was angry. I felt betrayed. You lied to me. You kept a whole other life hidden. My throat dried. Because I was scared. I know, she said softly. And I shouldn't have reacted the way I did. I was immature. I wanted to punish you. Make you feel cornered. So this is punishment. It started as punishment. She paused. Then. But it's not anymore. The room froze. I stared at her. She stared at the floor. You weren't supposed to look, she whispered, almost to herself. Not like that. Not so natural. Not so. Comfortable. Comfortable. I repeated, shocked. She nodded slowly. You didn't look like a joke. You didn't look like someone pretending. You looked like someone who had been hiding a part of themselves for too long. I felt dizzy. Sana, what are you trying to say? She met my eyes again. This time there was no smirk, no cruelty. Only truth. I'm not giving you revenge anymore, she said quietly. I'm giving you a chance you never gave yourself. I stumbled back, hitting the couch. A chance? A chance for what? For this life? For this identity? For something I wasn't even sure I wanted? I opened my mouth, but before I could answer, a knock echoed sharply at the door. Both of us froze. No. No, 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 no. Not now. Not when I was dressed like this. Sana whispered, stay here. But I grabbed her arm. Don't open it. She gently pried my fingers off. My hands were trembling so hard I couldn't stop them. Relax, she said. It's probably a package. I'll tell them to leave it. But the knock came again. Louder. Miss Sana? It's me. Auntie from next door. My blood ran cold. Mrs. Rashida. I felt everything inside me collapse. Sana glanced at me. Then at the skirt I was wearing. Then at the makeup still soft on my face. Ariana, she whispered. She wasn't teasing. She wasn't smirking. She was genuinely worried. Go to my room. Now. I stumbled toward the hallway, nearly tripping from panic. The skirt swished loudly. Too loudly. Every movement reminded me how exposed I was. She opened the door only a crack. Assalamu alaikum, auntie, she said loudly. I pressed myself against the wall of her room, heart pounding so violently I could hear it. Auntie's voice drifted in. Wa alaikum assalam. Beta, I just wanted to return your baking dish. You left it with us. Oh, thank you. And also, Sana. Who was that girl with you today? The one in the lavender top. My blood froze. My breath turned to shards of glass. She seemed new. So graceful. Mashallah. Is she a friend visiting? I slammed my hand over my mouth to stop a soundless scream. Sana hesitated. Then slowly, she smirked. Not cruelly, but knowingly. Yes, auntie, she said sweetly. She's someone very close. Auntie hummed. I thought so. Such a lovely girl. Tell her she should come by sometime. I felt my knees give out. I sank onto the floor, shaking uncontrollably. Lovely. She called me lovely. Sana closed the door and rushed to me. Hey, breathe, she whispered. I couldn't. Everything was too much. Sana, she saw me. She recognized me. She thinks I'm a girl, Sana finished softly. I buried my face in my hands. This is getting out of control. Maybe, she said gently. Or maybe it's becoming exactly what it was meant to. I looked up at her, terrified, confused, breathless. She held my cheeks, forcing me to meet her eyes. Amen. Tell me honestly. Her voice softened into something dangerously intimate. When she called you a girl, did it scare you more? Or did it feel right? My heart stopped. Because I knew the answer. And I was terrified to say it out loud. My breathing wouldn't slow. I sat on the floor of Sana's room, legs folded beneath me, skirt pulled softly around my thighs. My palms were cold, my throat tight, my chest trembling like something inside was breaking, or being born. Sana knelt in front of me. Waiting. Not pressuring. Not mocking. Just waiting. Her question hung between us like a blade. Did it scare you more, or did it feel right? I wanted to yell at her. I wanted to deny everything. I wanted to push her away. But instead, I don't know, I whispered. Sana shook her head. No lies. I'm not lying. Then say it, she murmured. My vision blurred. Sana, I can't. You can. No. The word came out cracked and desperate. She leaned closer, her voice softer now. Too soft. Armin, you don't hate this. You hate the fact that you don't hate it. A shiver exploded down my spine. Because that was exactly it. Exactly what I couldn't admit. Exactly what was suffocating me. Tears gathered in my eyes. Not dramatic, not loud, just quiet. Crushing. Sana, I whispered. I'm not supposed to be like this. She cupped my face gently. Who told you that? Everyone. Everyone who doesn't know you, she corrected. But you don't understand, I choked out. If people find out, if Isabella finds out, my life will be over. I'll lose everything. She wiped a tear with her thumb. Maybe you won't lose anything. Maybe you'll finally gain something real. I shook my head hard. Stop. Please stop. This isn't who I am. Her voice dropped. Then why did you look relieved when Auntie didn't recognize you? Why did you smile when you paid at the shop? Why did you walk taller outside? Why did you? I didn't. I snapped. You did, she insisted gently. Even if you didn't realize it. My hands trembled uncontrollably. What if I'm broken? You're not broken. She leaned her forehead against mine. You're scared. My chest tightened so hard it hurt. Scared. Yes. But not of the skirt. Not of the makeup. Not of the world outside. I was scared of myself. Of the piece of me that felt alive for the first time. Of the part that wanted to exist. Wanted to breathe. Wanted to stop hiding. I don't know what's happening to me, I whispered. Sana exhaled shakily, her thumb brushing my cheek. This is what happens when the truth gets louder than the fear. I sucked in a trembling breath. Is that what you think this is? The truth? Yes, she said without hesitation. And you've been burying it so deep you forgot how it felt. My voice broke. Sana, I can't be Ariana. Why not? Because I don't deserve to be. That stunned her. She grabbed my hands instantly. Hey, don't ever say that. I looked away. It's true. No, she said firmly. You're scared of disappointing people. That's all you've ever been scared of. I closed my eyes. People won't accept me. She tilted my chin up. I accept you. That sentence split something open inside me. I couldn't speak. I could barely breathe. My voice cracked, tiny and broken. Why? Why are you being so kind? Her expression changed, softened, almost painfully. Because I see you, she whispered. The real you. Even if you don't see her yet. Her. My heart stuttered. Sana. You think you hate this, she continued, brushing a strand of the wig from my cheek. But the truth is, you're terrified of how right it feels. Her fingers lingered on my jaw. Gentle. Assuring. Anchoring. My voice came out hollow. Something is changing inside me. And I can't stop it. You're not supposed to stop it. That terrified me more than anything she'd said. I curled forward slightly, clutching my stomach as if holding myself together. Sana, I don't want this to control my life. This isn't control, she said softly. This is discovery. It feels like losing myself. No, she whispered. It's finding yourself. I didn't answer. Because I didn't know what scared me more. Losing Amen. Or discovering that maybe he was never the whole story. Sana gently lifted my chin again. Amen, she said quietly. Look at me. I did. She held my gaze, searching my face, my expression, my fear. Then she asked the question that shattered the last wall I had. Do you want to stop? Or do you want to understand? My lips parted. No sound came out. Stop. Understand? I wanted both. I wanted neither. I wanted to run away. I wanted to stay right here. I wanted Amen. I wanted Ariana. I wanted to be normal. I wanted to be honest. My voice trembled as the truth finally slipped out in the smallest whisper. I don't know who I am anymore. Sana's expression softened in a way I had never seen before. Gentle, protective, almost tender. Then let me help you, she whispered. Help. No threat. No punishment. No revenge. Just help. Her kindness was the final blow. Because it left me with no enemy to fight except myself. The tears spilled over, quietly sliding down my cheeks. Sana wrapped her arms around me. Slowly, carefully, as if she knew I was fragile. I didn't resist. I melted into her. For the first time since this nightmare, or dream, began. I didn't push her away. I didn't deny it. I let myself feel everything. Fear, shame, relief, comfort, recognition, and something else. Something nameless. Something terrifying. Something true. I thought the photos were the worst thing Mia could do to me. I was wrong. Because that night, she crossed a line I didn't even know existed. The sun had set hours ago, and the house felt too quiet, like the walls themselves were waiting for something to happen. I sat on my bed, knees pulled up to my chest, wearing the soft lavender nightdress Mia gave me earlier. I didn't want to wear it, but she insisted. No boy clothes after 8 p.m., she had said. A good girl relaxes differently. Her voice wouldn't leave my head. The nightdress clung lightly against my skin, silky and cold. The thin straps made my shoulders feel exposed, delicate. Wrong. I kept trying to pull the fabric higher, but it always slipped back down. Then came the knock. Not a normal knock. 3 slow, deliberate taps. My heart hammered. Ethan, Mia called softly from the hallway. Open the door. I want to talk. Talk. Right. With Mia, talk always meant something else. Still I stood up, smoothed the nightdress, and opened the door a crack. She pushed it all the way open and walked in without waiting. Her eyes swept over me, from my messy hair to my bare legs peeking below the hem. She smiled, the slow, satisfied kind that always meant trouble. Look at you, she whispered. You're finally starting to fit the part. I swallowed. What part? She didn't answer. Instead, she walked around me in a slow circle, as if inspecting me. The room felt smaller. My breathing tighter. Sit, she said softly, tapping the edge of my bed. I hesitated. Her eyes narrowed. That alone made my knees weaken. I sat. Mia sat next to me, too close, her perfume a soft floral scent that wrapped around me like a net. You know, she said, brushing a strand of hair from my forehead, you're fighting something that's already happening. My voice shook. What is happening? You, she whispered. Changing. The words crawled into my chest. No, I'm not, I said quietly. Mia tilted her head, then reached out and touched my wrist, where the nail polish from earlier still shimmered faintly. You kept the polish on. I couldn't remove it. You didn't even try. I looked away. She wasn't wrong. I could have scrubbed harder. But that's okay, she said. Because I know why. She leaned in closer, her breath brushing my skin. You don't want to disappoint me. My heartbeat stuttered. I wanted to deny it. I wanted to push her away. But all I managed was, that's not true. Mia smiled, the devastating knowing smile of someone who sees through every lie. Then look at me, she said. I looked. Her eyes held mine, unblinking, confident, almost hypnotic. Ethan, she whispered, if you truly hated this, you would have run. You would have fought me. But you didn't. She was right again, and I hated it. I didn't fight because you threatened me, I said sharply. Did I? Her voice went cold. Or did you simply need an excuse to obey? The room spun. I couldn't breathe. She placed her hand over my chest, right where my heart pounded violently. Does this feel like fear, or something else? I pushed her hand away. Stop. She didn't look offended. She looked triumphant. Your reactions, she whispered, are all wrong for a boy who hates what I'm doing to him. Then she opened her backpack. My stomach dropped. Inside was a small flower-patterned box. She set it on my lap. What is it? I asked, my voice barely a breath. Your future, she said simply. My fingers trembled as I opened the box. Inside were a pair of pink lace panties, a matching bralette, a small bottle of women's perfume, hair ties, earrings, a soft pink lip balm. My throat closed. This isn't funny. It's not meant to be. Her voice was calm. Too calm. This is what you'll wear tomorrow. No. Yes. Mia. You promised, she said, cutting me off. Remember? You said you'll do everything I ask until the semester ends. That was before you started. Before I started what? She leaned in, voice sharp. Fixing you. Nothing needs to be fixed. Oh, Ethan, she sighed, almost pitying. You really don't see it, do you? See what? The girl inside you. Silence. Heavy. Smothering. I shook my head violently. There is no girl inside me. Mia didn't argue. She simply pulled out her phone. My stomach turned icy. She entered her gallery. Tapped something. My photos. The ones she took earlier. Me in Mia's clothes. Me smiling. No, blushing, at the mirror. Me kneeling to buckle the heels she forced on me. Do you know what I see? She asked softly, turning the screen toward me. I couldn't look. A girl trying so hard to hide, she said. But she won't stay hidden much longer. My voice cracked. Please, don't show those to anyone. I won't, she said. Relief rushed through me. But only if you listen. My chest collapsed in on itself. Mia, please, don't do this. She touched my chin, lifting my face. I'm not doing anything, she said with gentle cruelty. I'm simply guiding you where you already belong. Tears burned my eyes. Then she whispered. Tomorrow is the first test. Full girl mode. Panties, bralette, lip balm, perfume. And you're going out with me. Out. My voice broke. Where? You'll see. Mia, I can't. You will. Her hand tightened on my chin. And Ethan, if you try to run, hide or back out. She brought the phone close enough that I saw my terrified reflection in the screen. This little gallery goes public. The final thread inside me snapped. I nodded slowly. Broken. Defeated. Trapped. Mia smiled softly, like she'd won something. Good girl. I flinched. She kissed my forehead lightly, almost tender. Get some sleep, she whispered. Tomorrow, your real change begins. Then she walked out. But I didn't move. I couldn't. I sat there until my breathing steadied, staring at the clothes in the box, knowing that tomorrow I wouldn't be Ethan anymore. And maybe I never was. I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the box of clothes. Those pink lace panties. The bralette. The perfume. And Mia's voice. Tomorrow your real change begins. By sunrise, my stomach was twisted so tightly I couldn't even swallow water. But the knock came anyway. 3 slow taps. The same rhythm as last night. My blood ran cold. I forced myself out of bed, still wearing the lavender nightdress she insisted on. My legs felt weak. My palms sweaty. When I opened the door, Mia was already smiling. So, she said softly, ready? No. Never. I'd never be ready for whatever she planned. But she walked in without waiting for my answer and went straight to the box. Strip. My heart dropped. W what? You heard me. Mia, no. She raised her phone. Just the gesture alone made my throat close. Do you want me to send these photos? And no. Then be a good girl. My breath hitched. Those words again. They always hit too deep. Slowly, painfully, I slipped the nightdress off. My skin prickled under the cold air. Mia didn't look away. She watched every movement with calm, clinical control. Panties first, she instructed. I hesitated, trembling. She clicked her tongue. We don't have time for shy boys. I'm not. You're right, she cut in. You're not a boy. That sentence hit harder than anything she'd done before. My chest tightened. My eyes burned. But I stepped into the panties. Soft lace sliding up my legs. Every inch felt like a piece of my identity being peeled away. When the waistband snapped into place on my hips, a strange shiver crawled up my spine. Shame, humiliation, a sickening flutter I didn't want to name. Good, Mia whispered. Now the bralette. It was small, soft, feminine. My hands shook as I put it on, hooking it clumsily behind me. Mia stepped forward, guiding my arms, adjusting the straps like I was a doll. That's better, she said. You're already looking cute. I wasn't. I knew I wasn't. But the way she said it made my heartbeat skip. Then she pulled out the pink lip balm. My voice cracked. Please, not that. This is the easiest part, she said. She held my chin, tilting my face upward. Her thumb brushed my lower lip, and I flinched. Relax, she whispered. She applied it slowly. Soft, warm, intimate. When she released me, the gloss caught the morning light. Perfect, she breathed. Now the perfume. Before I could react, she sprayed a cloud around my neck and chest. Sweet, floral, completely foreign. I didn't smell like myself anymore. Clothes time, she said. She held up a short, pastel pink pleated skirt. Mia, no. I can't wear that outside. I can't. You will, she said simply. But people. And they'll see what I want them to see. Her words froze me. Then she handed me the skirt. I knew resistance was pointless, so I stepped into it. The skirt brushed against my thighs. Light, airy, humiliating. Then came the top. A little cropped cardigan with pearl buttons. She buttoned the top 2 buttons herself, leaving a hint of my bralette visible. My face flushed violently. Next came the wig. A long, chestnut brown wig with soft curls. No, I whispered. Please don't. But Mia gently placed it on my head, adjusting the hairline, brushing the strands behind my ear. She stepped back. Her smile widened. There she is. I almost collapsed. Mia, please. I don't want this. I'm not a her. She lifted my chin again. Look at me. I looked. Her eyes were soft, dangerous, unblinking. You belong to me today. And if you do well. She paused, brushing a curl off my shoulder. Maybe I'll give you some freedom. My breath shook. And if I don't? Then everyone sees those pictures. Silence. Then, put on the heels. They were white. Delicate straps. 3 inches. I could barely stand in them, wobbling as I buckled them in place. Mia laughed softly. Ah, relax, you'll learn. I'm going to fall. You'll fall prettily. My knees nearly gave out. Finally, she pulled out a small silver necklace. What's that? I whispered. Your name. She flipped it over, revealing the tiny engraved word. Elena. My heart stopped. No, Mia, no. Yes, she said, voice firm. Today you're Elena. I don't want that name. You don't get to choose today. She clasped the necklace around my throat. It felt like a collar. When she stepped back, her smile turned slow, victorious. Ready to go out? I froze. Out where? She lifted her phone. You already know the answer. I swallowed hard. My legs trembled. Mia, please, don't make me do this outside. People will stare. They'll laugh. They'll see the girl I created, she said. Now come. She walked toward the door. I didn't follow. My voice cracked. Mia, I can't. She turned slowly. Mia, please, I'm begging you. I can't go out like this. She tapped her phone screen. A preview of the worst photo popped up. My entire body froze. Do not test me, she said quietly. You walk out with me, or I walk out alone and press send. My vision blurred. My throat closed. My knees buckled. But I stood. Barely. I walked. Barely. Every step in those heels felt like torture. When we reached the front door, my heart was beating so fast I thought I'd faint. Mia looked back at me. One rule, she said softly. I swallowed. What rule? You stay beside me. You don't run. You don't hide. You don't break character. Character. She smiled. You're Elena. My pretty little sister. Understand. I almost choked. Mia, don't. But she leaned in and whispered. If you tell anyone the truth, one tap and your whole world burns. My stomach dropped. My body swayed. I nodded weakly. Good girl, she whispered. She opened the door. Cold morning air rushed in, hitting my bare legs, my exposed shoulders, my trembling body. The world outside suddenly felt massive, hostile, impossible. Mia, I whispered desperately. Please don't do this to me. She took my hand. My breath hitched. It's too late, she whispered. We're past the point of no return. And before I could say another word, she pulled me outside. Into the open. Into the world. Into the moment that would break me. Forever. The moment Mia pulled me outside, the sunlight hit me like a slap. My legs froze. The cold air brushed against my bare thighs, sending a shiver crawling up my spine. The wig, the skirt, the soft cardigan, everything felt too real now. Too exposed. Mia! I whispered, barely breathing. I can't go out like this. Her fingers tightened around my wrist. You can, she said. And you will. She didn't drag me. She didn't yell. She just held me, light, firm, unbreakable, like a leash disguised as affection. I wobbled with my first step on the pavement. The heels made my calves tremble. The skirt swished with humiliating softness. Every sound felt louder. Every shadow felt like someone watching. We weren't even 10 meters away from the house and my heart was already punching my ribs. Mia, please, I whispered. What if someone sees me? That's the point, she said calmly. I nearly tripped. What? Transformation isn't real if nobody witnesses it. My throat closed. I wanted to scream, but the fear swallowed my voice whole. She kept walking, and I followed, stumbling in tiny shaky steps. By the time we reached the main street, I was sweating, trembling. Convinced everyone could hear my heartbeat. Too loud. Too fast. Too exposed. A woman walking her dog passed us. Her eyes brushed over me. My legs, my skirt, my wig. My entire body seized. She smiled politely and continued walking. She didn't look back. Mia leaned close. See, she whispered. She thinks you're a girl. My knees nearly gave out. That's not true, I croaked. She wasn't paying attention. You'd be surprised what people ignore, Mia said with a smirk. My palms were wet. My throat was burning. But Mia pulled me forward again, leading me like this was normal. Like we were sisters going for a morning walk. Like I wasn't dying inside. Every step felt worse than the last. Every breeze reminded me I wasn't wearing boxers. Every person who passed felt like a countdown. By the time we reached the small convenience store on the corner, I was shaking so hard I could barely breathe. Mia, no. Not inside. Please. She looked at me over her shoulder, eyes sparkling with something unreadable. You'll be fine, she said. I won't, I gasped. I can't do this. She tilted her head. You can. Or I can send the pictures. My stomach dropped so fast it felt like falling. She opened the door. The little bell jingled. And she pulled me inside. The air conditioning hit my legs immediately, sending goosebumps up my skin. The sound of the door closing behind me felt like prison bars locking shut. A cashier leaned against the counter. A teenage boy stocking shelves glanced up. I froze. My breath stopped. My chest squeezed so tightly it hurt. I must have looked insane, wide-eyed, trembling, gripping my skirt like it could hide me. But nobody said anything. Nobody screamed or laughed or pointed. Life kept moving. Mia grabbed a snack from the shelf and tossed it lightly in her hand. Relax, she whispered. They aren't looking at you. But I could feel eyes. Somewhere. Maybe just in my head. Maybe real. Everything blurred. Then, come, she said softly. Pay for this. My face drained of color. No. Absolutely not. I can't talk. My voice. You don't have to talk, she replied. Just hand it to him. I swallowed. Hard. Every nerve in my body screamed run. But my legs didn't move. Until Mia squeezed my hand. A silent threat. I walked to the counter in tiny pathetic steps. My heels clicked too loudly on the floor. The wig hair tickled my neck. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped the snack. The cashier chuckled. Not cruelly. Just, normally. But it felt like a knife to the chest. I picked it up, placed it on the counter, and stared at the floor. He rang it up. That'll be $2.89, he said casually. Mia stepped forward, paid for it, and guided me out by the waist. The moment the door shut behind us, the air felt breathable again. A tiny bit. I almost collapsed. Mia exhaled deeply, satisfied. You did good, she said. I didn't feel good. I felt destroyed. Empty. Hollow. We walked back in silence. Each step home felt like walking toward a sentence I didn't understand. When we finally reached the front door, Mia stopped. She didn't speak. She just stared at me. I wiped my eyes. I hadn't even realized I was crying. Why are you doing this to me? I whispered. She leaned in, her voice barely audible. Because I can. The world spun. Before I could react, she unlocked the door and pushed it open. But she didn't walk inside. She froze. Her eyes widened. My stomach dropped. Slowly, terrifyingly, she whispered. Oh no. I stepped behind her, heart pounding. What? I breathed. What happened? Then I saw her. In the living room. Standing there with crossed arms. Expression unreadable. My breath left my body. My legs turned to water. Because standing there was my mother. Not Mia. Not Isabella. Not a stranger. My mother. And she wasn't shocked. She wasn't confused. She was studying me. Analyzing me. Like she had been waiting. Mom? I whispered. My mother's eyes dragged over me. The skirt. The wig. The necklace. The heels. The glossy lips. The trembling posture. She inhaled slowly. Controlled. Measured. Cold. Oh honey, she said softly. Almost gently. But it wasn't comfort. It was something else. Something terrifying. I was hoping Mia wouldn't rush things this far. She stepped closer, her eyes locked on mine. But I suppose it's time you knew. Kay knew what? I stammered. She smiled. Not kindly. Not warmly. But like someone who finally reached the moment they'd been engineering for a long, long time. She raised her hand. Touched the wig. Tilted my chin. Then whispered. You weren't supposed to find out yet. But you're part of my experiment. My world shattered. Everything blurred. Everything spun. You're what? I choked. Mom's smile deepened. Mia, she said without looking away from me. Take her to the room. Her voice was firm. Authoritative. Familiar. The voice that meant don't argue. My knees nearly buckled. Mia nodded, stepping behind me, gripping my shoulders as if I might try to run. Mom! I whispered, voice breaking. Please, what is going on? Why am I dressed like this? Why did she? Mom placed a finger gently on my lips. Shoo! My heart stopped. Don't worry, sweetheart, she whispered. You'll understand everything soon. Her eyes glimmered with something unreadable. Something dangerous. Something final. Then she said the sentence that killed the last piece of my old self. You were always meant to be my daughter. The room spun. My breath vanished. The world collapsed inward. I felt Mia's hands tightening on my shoulders. I tried to speak. To scream. To deny. To run. To do anything. But nothing came out. Mom stepped back. Smiled. And ended everything with a soft, chilling whisper. And today, your real transformation begins. Fade out. Black screen. My knees buckled, and I sank to the floor. The heels, the skirt, the wig, the necklace, it all felt like a cage, each piece locking me further into a life I didn't understand. A body I didn't recognize. Mom stepped closer, her eyes sharp and unyielding. Mia's hand stayed firm on my shoulders, but her face held a hint of unease. For the first time, I saw Mia hesitate. Mom, what do you mean? Your experiment? I don't. You've been living a lie, Ethan, Mom interrupted, her voice calm, terrifyingly controlled. Not because you wanted to, but because you didn't know yourself. I shook my head violently. No. I know myself. I'm me. I'm Amen. You're Elena, Mom said softly, almost like it was a fact of nature. And you've always been meant to be her. Not Amen. Not Ethan. Her. The girl you've been hiding inside, the one I've watched grow in secret. I wanted to scream, to run, to claw at the walls of the house. My body shook, every nerve screaming in rebellion. Why? Why would you do this to me? I whispered, my voice breaking. Why would you? Why would Mia? Mom tilted her head. Her gaze softened slightly, but there was no warmth. Because I had to guide you before the world could. You were never safe discovering this on your own. I've been preparing you, testing you, shaping you. Today you take your first real step. I shook my head. No. I don't want to. I'm not her. Mia stepped in then, voice quiet but firm. Ethan. Elena. You have to listen to her. Right now there's no choice. The only way out is through. I flinched at the sound of my new name. Elena. I'm not her. I don't want to be her. Mom smiled faintly. That's what everyone thinks at first. Resistance is normal. But denial won't change the truth. Her words cut deeper than any punishment Mia had ever imposed. I realized then that this wasn't just about Mia's game or the photos or the public humiliation. This was bigger. This was permanent. And somehow, terrifyingly, I knew she was right. The living room felt too large now. Every shadow seemed to mock me. The soft sway of my skirt against my thighs made me shiver, not with cold but with fear. My new reflection, faintly visible in the glossy surface of the TV, stared back at me. Elena. That girl. My body's reflection. I didn't recognize her. And yet, my chest ached when I saw her. Mom! I whispered again. Please. Please. I can't do this. I'm not ready. I don't. You don't get to choose readiness, she said, moving closer. You get to live. And living is Elena now. Every hesitation, every step backward, only prolongs the pain. Accept it, or the consequences are permanent. I felt Mia's hands tighten on my shoulders. Her eyes searched mine. She's right. You can fight, but today isn't about fighting. It's about transformation. Fully. No excuses. I wanted to scream. I wanted to collapse. I wanted the floor to swallow me. But Mom didn't give me that option. Stand, she said. I tried, but my legs shook violently. I stumbled on the heels, almost toppling forward. Mia caught me instantly. Balance, she whispered. Elena. Balance. I froze. That name again. Every time it left her lips, my body reacted before my mind could process it. I'm not her, I whispered, but my own voice sounded foreign, feminine, trembling. Mom's eyes softened, but not in kindness. In inevitability. You are. You always were. And today you prove it. Her words were like a hammer striking every bone in my body. We moved to the bedroom, Mia leading, Mom following silently. The box of clothes was already there, waiting. But this time, it was different. There were more items. Delicate blouses, pastel skirts, tiny shoes, stockings, even makeup carefully lined up on the dresser. Everything you need, Mom said, her voice calm, final. To become her fully. I sank onto the bed. My heels dug into the floor, my skirt twirling helplessly around my thighs. My hands covered my face. I can't. Mom crouched down so we were eye to eye. Yes, you can. You've resisted long enough. But now, resistance ends. Not because I want to hurt you, but because you've been living in half-truths. And the world will not forgive half-truths. I shivered violently. Today, Mom continued, you learn how to be Elena. Fully. Completely. Irrevocably. The word irrevocably made my stomach turn. I wanted to flee. But every exit seemed blocked. Mia's hand on my wrist was firm. Her gaze was piercing. You have no choice. Only acceptance. Only stepping forward. I looked at Mom. My mother. My protector. My captor. My executioner. And I understood, in a horrifying flash, that I was stepping forward. Mia knelt in front of me. Let's start. Step 1. The foundation. I shook my head. No. I can't. Mia's hand lifted my chin. Her eyes bore into mine. Yes, you can. You will. I felt my body obey before my mind could. Step by step she guided me through. Panties first, soft lace against trembling skin. Bralette next, strap slipping over shoulders I hated to expose. Blouse, cardigan, skirt, stockings, heels. Every item crushed a part of Armin. Every fold of fabric made Elena more real. When the wig went on, long brown curls brushing my shoulders, I gasped. I no longer recognized the reflection in the mirror across the room. Mia stepped back. Perfect. I looked at Mom. She smiled faintly. A smile that promised nothing, warned everything. Now, she said softly, the final step. I froze. Final step. Mom reached into her pocket and held up a small silver locket. Inside, engraved, was a single name, Elena. Wear this, she said, clasping it around my neck. It is your identity now. Not Armin. Not Ethan. Elena. I tried to resist, but my trembling hands obeyed. The chain slipped over my head. The locket rested against my chest. The name burned into my skin. Forever, Mom whispered. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I couldn't fight. I was Elena, and I had no choice but to accept it. Mia guided me to the mirror. Look at her, she said softly. See her. Feel her. Be her. I stared. Elena. The girl staring back at me was fragile, timid, trembling, but somehow, beautiful. My lips quivered. My hands shook. I can't, I whispered. You can, Mom said firmly. And you will. Or you'll wish you had. This is your life now. The room fell silent except for my ragged breathing. The transformation was no longer just clothes or makeup. It was me. Every fiber of me. Every trembling nerve. Every heartbeat. I was Elena. Mia smiled faintly. Good girl. I wanted to cry. I wanted to run. I wanted to be Armin again. But the mirror reflected a truth I couldn't deny. And Mom. She smiled. Not cruelly. Not kindly. But with the terrifying satisfaction of someone who had finally completed her experiment. Welcome, my daughter, she whispered. The world awaits. For a moment, everything in the room felt suspended. The air, the lights, even my heartbeat. The hallway outside my room was silent now, but the echo of Isabella's voice still vibrated inside my skull. Adam? Why is the door locked? She had never, not once in our entire relationship, asked that question in that tone. Soft. Suspicious. Almost careful. Careful was worse. Careful meant she was thinking. And thinking meant she knew. I swallowed hard, pressing my back against the bedroom door like it could somehow hold the truth inside my body. My dress shifted against my skin, that soft pink satin she should never have seen touching me, and the feeling made my panic spike even higher. My wig was slipping. My lipstick was smudging. My pulse was vibrating through my ribs. I wasn't ready. Not like this. Not tonight. Not when her mother's experiment, whatever that meant, was the reason this had all started. I took one trembling step toward the mirror. And froze. Because the person staring back at me, wide-eyed, breathless, terrified, wasn't Adam anymore. She looked like a girl caught doing something forbidden. Pretty. Vulnerable. Exposed. My knees weakened. If Isabella saw me like this. Adam, seriously, she called again, closer this time. Are you okay? You sound weird. Think. I forced my voice out. High, thin, cracking. I'm changing. Ah. She paused. Into what? My stomach twisted. Into a lie? Into your mother's experiment? Into someone I don't even recognize anymore? I squeezed my eyes shut. Clothes. Just give me a minute. A second of silence. Then her footsteps moved. Not away, but right to my door. A soft thump. Her forehead resting against the wood. Her shadow shifting under the gap. Adam, she whispered. I know something's going on. You've been different. Nervous. Distant. You think I don't notice, but I do. Tears burned behind my eyes. Because she was right. I just want you to talk to me, she continued. Whatever it is, it can't be so bad that you have to hide from me. Oh. Isabella. If only she knew. I looked down at myself again. The makeup, the wig, the girlish figure that shouldn't be possible but felt so frighteningly real. It was bad. It was exactly that bad. I wiped at my blush with trembling fingers, only smudging it more. Mascara streaks lined the corners of my eyes like dark secrets that refused to stay hidden. I needed to change back. I needed to undo everything. I needed to rattle. My doorknob moved. Isabella, wait. I gasped. I'm not opening it, she said softly. I'm just making sure you're still there. She waited a beat. Adam, did my mom say something to you? My breath stopped. She knew. She knew I had talked to her mother. She knew it mattered. She knew something had changed. But how could she know the details? Her mother had sworn me to secrecy. Unless this wasn't a secret to her at all. My thoughts spiraled, crashing into each other like glass shattering on tile. I pressed my hand against the door. She pressed hers back. A matching shape. Warm. Human. Dangerously close. I'm not mad, she whispered. I'm worried. About you. About us. Her voice broke a little on that word. It hurt. It hurt more than the fear, more than the shame, more than the panic tightening my throat. Because I loved her. God, I loved her. And I was lying to her while wearing her clothes and her mother's experiment on my skin. I forced myself to breathe, one long shaky inhale, then spoke. Isabella. I promise I'll explain everything. But I just need to. Bam bam bam. We both jerked. Those knocks weren't from Isabella. They came from the front door. Hard. Insistent. Urgent. Isabella pulled back from my bedroom door. What the? Her voice turned frustrated. Who's here at this hour? I froze. Because while Isabella didn't know, I had a sickening feeling I did. Her mother. Or worse. Someone she sent. I stepped back from the door. My wig slipped again. My lipstick smeared further. My heels wobbled under me. Stay there, Isabella said, and her footsteps hurried down the hall. Stay. Like this? Not a chance. I rushed to the mirror, tugging at the wig, but the bobby pins felt like they were glued in place. I grabbed makeup wipes, but my hands were shaking too badly to pull one from the package. I fumbled for the zipper at the back of the dress. Why wasn't it coming down? Why wasn't anything coming off? No. No, no, no. Bam, bam, bam. The knocking came again. This time louder. This time impatient. This time with a kind of authority that said, I know you're in there. I heard Isabella open the front door. Mom? What are you doing here? My entire body turned to ice. Her mother's voice, sharp, strict, too calm, flowed through the hallway like a blade sliding into a sheath. Where is he, Isabella? He. Not Adam. He. Mom, what are you talking ab? Where is he? My pulse roared in my ears. Footsteps. 2 pairs. Moving closer to my room. Fast. I backed away from the mirror, my breath coming in sharp, terrified bursts. This was it. This was the moment everything shattered. And then, the bedroom doorknob slowly turned. Not banged. Not rattled. Just turned. Soft. Deliberate. Deadly calm. Adam, her mother said through the crack, her voice low, steady, unyielding. We need to talk about the experiment. The door inched open. Light spilled in. My reflection glimmered in the mirror. The dress, the wig, the lipstick, the girl staring back at me who I didn't fully understand yet. I froze. Because their eyes had finally seen me. And I had nowhere left to run. The door didn't swing open all at once. It crept, inch by inch, like the house itself was holding its breath with me. I stood frozen in the center of the room, the soft pink dress clinging to me, the wig slightly crooked on my head, mascara smudged like I had been crying even though I hadn't let myself yet. Isabella stepped in first. Her eyes widened. Her lips parted. Her whole body stopped. Behind her, her mother stepped into the doorway, arms crossed, eyes sharp and analyzing, like she already knew what she was about to see. The silence hit harder than any scream could. I didn't breathe. I didn't blink. I didn't move. I just waited for their verdict. Isabella finally spoke, in a whisper I wasn't prepared for. Adam. She said my name like it was breaking inside her mouth. Her mother didn't whisper. Her mother stepped forward with the confidence of someone who had expected this outcome from the beginning. Looks like the experiment worked faster than I anticipated. Her words cut through the air like glass. Experiment. Worked. Faster. Isabella spun toward her mother. What experiment? Mom, what did you do? Her mother didn't take her eyes off me. I gave him the serum 2 weeks ago. I told him what it would do if he kept avoiding the truth. My throat tightened. Serum. So the lotion wasn't just lotion. The vitamins weren't just vitamins. The subtle changes in my skin, my body, my emotions. She knew. She planned this. She crafted this version of me. Isabella's voice cracked. Adam. What is she talking about? I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Her mother stepped another foot closer, her heels clicking against the floor with crisp authority. Let's stop pretending, she said, eyes locked onto mine. You've felt it, haven't you? The changes. The pull. The desire. A chill shot through my entire body. Because she wasn't wrong. I had changed. In ways I didn't understand. In ways I didn't choose. In ways I couldn't reverse. You manipulated him? Isabella snapped. You experimented on my boyfriend? Her mother didn't flinch. He was never honest with you. Her gaze sliced into me. He hid everything. His dressing. His desires. His identity. She paused. I simply gave him a push toward who he already was. I shook my head violently. No, this wasn't. My voice cracked. I didn't ask for this. Her mother raised an eyebrow. Didn't you? I froze. Because I remembered every moment. The secret thrill of makeup on my skin. The way my heartbeat quickened in heels. The way dresses made me feel seen even when no one was looking at me. The fear. The excitement. The shame. The hunger. Had she recognized something I hadn't? Isabella stepped between me and her mother, blocking her view. Stop. Just stop. Adam is my partner, not your project. Her mom's jaw tightened. He is also unstable, confused, and hiding from himself. My experiment simply. Your experiment is not your business. Isabella snapped, voice breaking. I had never seen her like that. Fiercely protective, trembling with anger, shielding me like I was something fragile and precious. Mom, she said, breathing hard, you don't get to decide who he is. Someone has to, her mother replied coldly. That sentence landed like a knife. I felt my knees weaken. Someone has to. As if I wasn't capable. As if I couldn't understand myself. As if I was too broken or confused to choose. I swallowed hard and finally found my voice. I didn't want this to happen like this, I whispered. Not in front of you. Not like this. Isabella turned toward me. And in her eyes, I saw everything. Fear. Shock. Confusion. But also, something soft. Something wounded. Something still reaching for me. She stepped closer. Adam, why didn't you tell me? Why hide this from me? I opened my mouth. But her mother cut in. He didn't tell you because he knew you wouldn't accept him. That is not true. Isabella shouted. The room shook with her voice. Her mother crossed her arms. Then ask him. Ask him why he chose secrets over trust. Isabella looked back at me. Tears filled her eyes, but none fell. Adam. She swallowed hard. Did you hide this because you thought I wouldn't understand? My chest tightened until it hurt. Because the truth was, yes. Yes, I did. I lowered my head. I was scared, I whispered. Scared of losing you. Her breath caught. The room went still. Her mother's voice sliced through the quiet. Fear is not an excuse. And the serum has already begun irreversible effects. My head snapped up. Wait, what? Irreversible? What did that mean? What had she done to me? What was I becoming? Isabella looked horrified. Mom, what did you do to him? Her mother sighed like we were children being dramatic. The transformation has only started. His body will continue adapting unless. A heavy thud shook the house. We all turned. It came from the living room. A low, vibrating hum followed it. Electrical. Mechanical. Wrong. Her mother stiffened. No, she whispered. Not yet. Isabella backed up. What was that? Her mother didn't answer. Instead, She grabbed the doorknob. We're out of time. For what? Isabella demanded. Her mother's eyes finally showed fear. Real fear. Adam, she said, voice sharp and urgent. Did you touch anything else I gave you? What? No, just the lotion and the... My blood turned cold. The vial. The small, pink-tinted vial she said not to open. The one I knocked over by accident the night before. Her mother's face drained of color. Where is it? In the trash, I whispered. A long, horrible silence. Then, it's not in the trash anymore. A deep metallic click echoed from the living room. Something creaked. Something alive. Something awakening. Isabella grabbed my arm. Her mother grabbed the door. The lights flickered. The house trembled. And then, from the living room, a soft, mechanical voice whispered. Phase 2, activated. The lights died. The house dropped into total darkness. And the last thing I heard was Isabella gasping. Mom, what did you create? Darkness swallowed the room. My heart thumped so loudly I thought it would break my ribs. I clutched my skirt, the soft fabric a futile shield against the terror coursing through me. Mia's hands gripped my shoulders like they were the only thing keeping me tethered to reality. Stay close, she whispered, voice trembling more than I realized. The soft mechanical hum from the living room grew louder, vibrating through the floor, through my heels, through my very bones. It wasn't just a sound. It was a warning. Adam. Isabella's voice quivered, softer now, almost tender. What is happening? I wanted to answer. I wanted to explain. I wanted to scream. But my lips wouldn't move. The words were trapped behind the tight knot in my chest. Then came the clicking. Slow. Deliberate. Like tiny heels echoing across the hardwood. Closer. Closer. Every heartbeat matched the sound. Mom? Isabella demanded. Explain this. Now. But her mother didn't answer. Instead, she moved past us, silent, commanding, her shadow stretching long in the flickering candlelight the backup lamps provided. The living room door creaked. And then I saw it. Phase 2. A device, glowing faintly, pink and pulsating like a heartbeat, sat in the middle of the room. Wires twisted like snakes, connected to a series of tubes and monitors. A screen blinked rapidly with data I couldn't understand. And on the screen there was... me. Or at least, Elena. The reflection on the monitor was disturbingly real. Every curve, every movement, every twitch perfectly mirrored mine, as if the device itself was studying, replicating, amplifying my transformation. I stumbled back. My heels clacked against the floor. I grabbed the nearest chair to steady myself. Mom! I whispered. What is that? Her mother's eyes didn't leave the screen. Her expression was unreadable. Her lips pressed together in concentration. It's phase 2, she said finally. The serum wasn't enough on its own. We needed reinforcement. The device accelerates the changes, stabilizes the transformation, makes Elena permanent. I shook my head violently. No. I don't want this. I'm not ready. Mia stepped in, calm but firm. It's too late, Elena. You've already begun. Fighting now will only make it worse. Worse. I didn't know what worse meant. But I could feel it, radiating from the device, seeping into the air, pressing against my skin like invisible hands. The monitor blinked again. A new image appeared. Me. But different. More feminine. More perfected. The reflection smiled at me. Elena smiling back. Not me. Not Adam. I screamed. A loud, desperate, breaking scream. Mia tried to calm me. Isabella froze, her hands covering her mouth. Her mother watched. And then the device activated fully. Pink light flooded the room. The humming became a low roar. I felt heat crawling up my legs, into my stomach, twisting my chest. Every nerve burned. Every muscle trembled. Step away, I gasped. Step away from me. But they didn't move. Mom stayed still. Mia held me in place. Isabella was frozen. The air vibrated. I stumbled to the mirror. My reflection was gone. Or rather, it had changed. Elena stood there perfectly formed. My old body. Adam vanished in the shimmer of the device. No, 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 I whispered, falling to my knees. The device hummed louder. Pink light pulsed like a heartbeat, syncing with my own. And then I felt it. A warmth spreading through me. A fullness. A softness. A new rhythm to my body. A new shape that wasn't mine. Yet somehow terrifyingly, it felt familiar. I gasped, clutching the hem of my skirt. Mia's hands were steady on my shoulders. Let it happen, she whispered. No. Stop it. I'm not. But the device ignored me. The monitors beeped. The glow intensified. And I realized with a sickening certainty. I wasn't fighting this. I couldn't. The room shifted. The floor seemed to tilt beneath me. My voice, my deep masculine voice, cracked into something higher, softer. I tried to scream, but only a small feminine squeak emerged. Her mother stepped forward, calm, almost tender. You'll thank me later, she whispered. I'm giving you the life you were meant to live. I wanted to cry. I wanted to run. I wanted to undo every choice, every mistake, every second. But the device pulsed again, faster, stronger, and I felt my body fully changing. The heels pinched. The skirt hugged. The wig tugged at my scalp. And the locket burned against my chest. Elena. It wasn't a suggestion anymore. It wasn't optional. It was me. And the world was watching. Phase 2 complete, her mother said, almost like announcing a job well done. I staggered, overwhelmed. I looked at Isabella. Her eyes were wide, confused, frightened, yet still reaching for me. Adam. Elena. I don't even know what to call you, she whispered. I didn't answer. I couldn't. I didn't recognize myself enough to speak. The device powered down. The hum vanished. The room was silent. Pink light receded. And in the mirror, Elena stood. Perfect, beautiful, feminine, terrifying. I sank to my knees. Mia knelt beside me. Her hand brushed my hair. Don't fight it, she whispered. Not yet. Accept it, and you might survive phase 3. Phase 3. I didn't even know what that meant. And the last thing I saw before the lights flickered out completely was Mom smiling. A smile that promised control. A smile that promised fear. A smile that promised everything had changed. Forever. The room was silent except for the sound of my ragged breathing. Elena. That name burned in my chest like fire. I had tried to speak, to plead, to fight, but the words had fled. Mia's hands rested lightly on my shoulders, steadying me. Her voice, calm but firm, whispered. You made it through phase 2. But phase 3 is where it becomes irreversible. Permanent. Public. Unavoidable. I shook my head violently. No. I can't. I won't. Her hand tightened slightly. You don't get a choice anymore, Elena. Only acceptance. My chest tightened. My heels dug painfully into the floor. Every step I had taken toward this point now trapped me further. From the living room came the sound of the device powering back on. Not the gentle pulsing pink glow of phase 2. No. This was brighter. Sharper. Relentless. And it wasn't just a machine this time. I could hear voices. Whispering, echoing, overlapping. As if the house itself had come alive. Her mother stepped forward, calm, almost regal. Phase 3 isn't about transformation anymore. It's about exposure. Control. Mastery. Are you ready, Elena? I wanted to scream. I wanted to run. I wanted to vanish. I'm not. I managed, voice trembling. Mom's smile didn't waver. That's the point. You have no choice. Before I could react, the lights in the room flickered and went out. Darkness. Complete. The hum of the device vibrated through the floor, through my heels, into my bones. Then came the projection. The walls lit up with screens. Multiple screens. Each showing me. Elena. Fully formed. My reflection. Every movement captured in real time. And not just in the bedroom. Other places. The city streets. The school. The park. No. I hadn't left the house. But the screens didn't lie. It was me. Or her. Standing. Smiling. Walking. Perfectly feminine. Mia whispered softly. Phase 3 creates a feedback loop. The more you see yourself, the more the world sees you, and the more permanent it becomes. I staggered back, gripping the edge of a chair. My chest heaved. Tears blurred my vision. I don't want this. I cried. Her mother's eyes were sharp, unyielding. Elena, you fought long enough. The world doesn't forgive hesitation. Phase 3 ensures that you can't go back. That you live in truth. Your truth. I shook my head, stumbling to the mirror. Elena's face stared back at me. Perfect. Smooth. Unrecognizable. And yet, it was still me. I can't. I'm not ready, I whispered. Her mother stepped closer, voice soft, almost seducing. You are ready. You just don't know it yet. The device pulsed again. The screens flickered, and suddenly, one screen zoomed closer. It was Elena in public. Walking down a street I didn't recognize. People turning to look. Smiling. Commenting. Laughing. And every time someone looked, my chest tightened. My pulse spiked. I don't. Yes, Mia interrupted. Every gaze, every reaction. Phase 3 amplifies it. You feel their attention as if it's burning through your body. Their thoughts, their curiosity, their admiration. All of it becomes you. Permanent. I stumbled backward, clutching my chest. Isabella stepped forward, her voice shaking. Mom, what are you doing? Her mother didn't answer. Instead, she gestured toward the screens. Look at her, she said almost tenderly. See her. Feel her. She's not Adam. She's Elena. And the world knows it now. Permanently. I couldn't breathe. The reflection of Elena on the screens grinned, laughing softly at me. Mocking. Inviting. Alive. I sank to my knees. The heels dug into my skin. The dress felt like armor and a cage at the same time. My hands trembled as I reached up to touch the wig. Every strand felt real. Every curl reminded me that I could never go back. I don't want to, I whispered. Her mother crouched beside me. Acceptance is the only path. Denial is impossible now. Phase 3 ensures it. Suddenly, the screens shifted. Elena was moving. Walking into classrooms, offices, cafes. People looked, smiled, whispered. And every reaction was felt by my body. Heat. Shame. Pleasure. Excitement. Panic. I screamed, covering my ears. Mia's hands gripped my shoulders. Feel it. Let it flow through you. This is who you are now. I shook violently. No. I'm Adam. The screens blurred. The images twisted. And then, one screen showed Isabella, looking directly at me. Her expression was complex. Fear, shock, concern, but also curiosity. Acceptance? I don't know if I can, I whispered, voice breaking. You will, Mom said. Because the world will not wait. The world will not forgive hesitation. And neither will you. The lights flickered again. The humming of the device intensified. And then, the most horrifying moment. The mirror in front of me rippled. Not physically, but in perception. Elena's reflection moved independently. Smiling at me. Mocking me. Alive. I staggered back, clutching the chair. Mia's voice came from behind. You can't fight her. You have to be her. No. Stop. The locket around my neck burned. I gasped, clutching it. The name? Elena. A permanent reminder. And then the door slammed shut behind me. The house plunged into complete darkness again. Her mother's voice floated from somewhere above. Phase 3 will complete in 5, 4, 3. My heart seized. Tears blurred my vision. The warmth spreading through my body intensified, reshaping me, molding me, defining me. The last thing I heard, before the world changed completely. 2, 1. Become her. And the darkness swallowed me. The darkness lingered, pressing against me like a living thing. Elena. The name was no longer just whispered in fear. It was branded into my chest, my voice, my bones. Phase 3 had begun. Full control. Public exposure. Permanent change. I staggered forward, my heels clicking unevenly against the hardwood floor. Every step felt heavier, but at the same time, lighter, softer, more delicate. The world, my old world, seemed impossibly far away. Look at yourself, Mia's voice commanded softly, echoing around me. I raised my hands to the mirror. Elena stared back. Perfect. Flawless. Beautiful. Unrecognizable. Her eyes sparkled with mischief, confidence, and freedom. Everything I had feared and secretly craved. I swallowed hard. This wasn't me. Not Adam. Not the man I had been. But it was me. Her mother's voice cut through the tension, calm, almost kind. You're ready. The world is ready. Are you ready? No. I shouted, my voice trembling. I don't want this. Her mother stepped closer, heels clicking against the floor. Then let's see if you can fight her. The lights flickered back on. The screens returned. But this time it was different. Not just reflections. Not just projections. People, strangers, friends, classmates, colleagues, stared, smiled, pointed. Whispers floated through the digital air, amplified into my mind. Their curiosity, admiration, judgment, every reaction pulsed through me. I stumbled. I fell to my knees. The heat of their attention pressed against my skin. My heart raced. Every nerve burned. Every muscle shook. Accept her, Mia whispered. Or be consumed by fear. I wanted to scream. I wanted to fight. But Elena's reflection moved independently, laughing softly, daring me, mocking me. You can't fight me, she said, in a voice that was both mine and hers. You've always wanted this. You've always needed this. Stop hiding. No. I'm Adam. I'm not. The mirror shimmered. The screens flashed. The air vibrated. And then the first public appearance began. The streets appeared around me, real, tangible, yet a projection. People passing by, staring, reacting. Every whisper, every glance, every smile hit me like a physical force. Phase 3 isn't about hiding, her mother said. It's about claiming your truth. I staggered forward, barely able to walk in heels. The dress clung to me. My hair framed my face perfectly. Elena's presence had fully overtaken Adam's body, but not entirely my mind. I caught sight of Isabella in the crowd. Her face, horrified, confused, heartbroken. And then, something unexpected. Acceptance. A small nod, almost imperceptible, but it hit me like a lifeline. Do you see? Mia whispered. She's part of you. She always was. Fight her and you'll lose. Embrace her. And survive. I faltered, teetering on the edge of panic and exhilaration. Elena's reflection reached out from the mirror. I felt it. Not physically. But emotionally. Psychologically. Soul deep. Be me, she whispered. And something inside me snapped. Not in surrender. Not in fear. But in understanding. I let go. The screams, the fear, the panic. I released them. I felt the warmth spreading through my body again. The dress, the heels, the wig. All became extensions of me. Elena and Adam merged into something new. Something unstoppable. The screens flashed brighter. The projections mirrored my every movement. But now, I controlled them. I walked. People stared. I smiled. Every glance, every whisper, every heartbeat of the crowd strengthened me. Isabella approached cautiously. Her eyes searched mine. Adam, Elena, something else entirely. And then slowly she smiled. You're incredible, she whispered. Her mother nodded, satisfied. Phase 3 complete. She has accepted herself fully. Publicly. Permanently. I looked at my reflection one last time. Elena. Adam. Both. One. I was terrified. I was exhilarated. I was free. The house, the device, the lights. It all faded into the background. Because now the world was mine. And it saw Elena. And I was ready. But as I stepped toward Isabella, The screens flickered one last time. A shadow appeared. Unknown. Menacing. Waiting. The world had changed. Elena had survived Phase 3. But the next challenge was already coming. The screens went dark. The house was silent. My breathing was ragged, uneven, echoing off the walls. Elena. That name pulsed through me like a drumbeat I couldn't escape. I had survived Phase 3. Fully transformed, fully exposed, fully her, but the feeling of being watched didn't leave. Isabella stood beside me, her hand barely touching mine, unsure whether to comfort or to flee. Her eyes were wide, glistening, torn between fear and admiration. Her mother, poised and calm, stepped back, as if the storm she had conjured was settling, for now. Phase 3 is complete, she said softly. Elena has accepted herself. Public. Permanent. But. I froze at that single word. But what? I whispered, my voice trembling, soft, feminine, utterly unrecognizable even to my own ears. Her mother's eyes darkened. There's always. Phase 4. I felt a cold sweat form at the base of my neck. Phase 4. What could be worse than complete, irreversible transformation? You won't be alone, she continued, her voice both sinister and strangely soothing. The world has seen her. But now they will watch. Every step. Every choice. Every secret. Exposed. A sudden shiver ran through me. I realized she meant everyone. Strangers, friends, colleagues, maybe even enemies I hadn't considered yet. All eyes on me. All attention amplified. I looked at Isabella. Her hand tightened around mine. Is she going to be okay? She asked softly, almost in a whisper meant only for me. I didn't know. I wanted to say yes. I wanted to reassure her. But even I wasn't sure anymore. From the shadows of the living room, a soft hum began, the sound of the device powering on again. Not pink this time. Not pulsing gently. No, this was sharper, more insistent. Alive. Hungry. Her mother stepped forward, almost excited. Phase 4 begins the moment you step outside. The moment the world reacts. Elena's choices will no longer be private. Her life will be performance, attention, desire, and scrutiny. And the question remains, will she survive the gaze? I stumbled back. The heels pinched. The dress clung to my skin like it knew my fear. The wig tugged at my scalp. And the locket burned against my chest, reminding me of the name I could never escape. Elena. Isabella's grip tightened. Adam. Elena. You don't have to do this alone. I wanted to reach for her. I wanted to run. I wanted to hide. But the device hummed louder. The screens flickered back on. And this time, the projections weren't just mirrors. They were crowds. Thousands of eyes. Watching. Whispering. Judging. Admiring. Curious. Hungry. And in the center of them all, me. Elena. I stumbled. My knees buckled. I wanted to scream. Step into the world, Mia whispered behind me. Or it will step through you. The pink glow of the device bathed the room once more. I felt warmth, pressure, expectation, and fear coursing through me like liquid fire. Every nerve alive. Every thought amplified. Every heartbeat racing in sync with the pulse of countless eyes. I looked at Isabella one last time. Her eyes were wet. Her lips trembling. Her hands reaching. Be strong, she whispered. I took a trembling step forward. The device pulsed. The air shimmered. And the first step outside felt like stepping off a cliff. The door swung open. Light. Exposure. Attention. The world waiting. I inhaled. And then, a shadow moved. Across the street. Across the crowd. Watching. Waiting. Unknown. Her mother's voice floated in the back of my mind. Phase 4 has begun. The world knows her now. But someone else knows. Too. I froze. The shadow stopped. And then, it waved. A single hand. A smile hidden in the dark. And my stomach dropped. Because the world had changed. Elena had survived Phase 3. But the real danger, and the ultimate revelation, had just arrived. The house was silent. Elena stood alone in the center of the room, her reflection staring back at her in the mirror. No longer Adam, no longer just a secret, but fully, irrevocably herself. The device hummed quietly in the corner, its glow fading, as if satisfied with the work it had done. Phase 3 was complete. Phase 4, the exposure, the scrutiny, the unknown, had not yet begun. And yet, a new calm settled over me. I took a deep breath. The dress hugged me perfectly. The heels pinched, yes, but each step felt like reclaiming a part of myself I had hidden for too long. The wig framed my face beautifully. I was Elena. Confident, terrifying, exhilarating. Isabella stepped forward, her eyes wide with disbelief and awe. Adam. Elena. Her voice broke, soft and vulnerable. I don't even know how to describe this. But you're incredible. Her mother, calm and unreadable, finally relaxed her shoulders. You've survived the experiment. You've embraced yourself fully. That is all I intended. I looked at her, the woman who had forced this transformation, who had terrified me and pushed me beyond my limits. I survived because of you, I said quietly, meaning both her mother and myself. But this, I'm me now. And no one, not even you, can take that away. Her mother nodded once, approvingly, and turned to leave the room. Mia stayed behind, smiling softly. You did it, she whispered. You're finally free. I sank to my knees, overwhelmed. Tears streamed down my face. Not from fear, not from pain, but from relief. I was Elena. I had survived the trials, the transformations, the fear of being exposed. And for the first time, I felt alive. Isabella knelt beside me, taking my hand in hers. We'll face the world together, she whispered. I nodded. Yes, I said, my voice strong, clear, undeniably hers. We'll face it together. And though the shadow of Phase 4, the unknown, the public scrutiny, the challenges to come, still lingered in the back of my mind, it didn't terrify me anymore. I was Elena. I was ready. The device powered down completely. The screens went black. And the house, once filled with whispers and tension, finally felt still. The transformation was complete. The suspense resolved, for now. But one thing was certain. The world had changed. And so had I.